give your heart and soul. Run lads, shoot lads, give us all a go. Run lads, shoot lads, you can do it yet. Come on Newport County, oh, bang it in the net.
Hello everybody and welcome to the newest episode of Taff's Words, and yeah, most of you will know what this is all about. It's basically regarding the infamous group on Facebook called Katie Chat. Now, Katie Chat is now changed, the name's now been changed, but you know, people will always remember it as Katie Chat. That's how it was formed, that's what it's been for, I think it's around about the 2.5 to 3 years that it's been alive for. So that's what it'd be renamed for, to be honest with you. A bit like the Amber Army being known as the Katie Quiet, to be honest with you. So, why am I bringing up the Katie Chat group? Well, there's a lot of similarities with Katie Chat as there is with the weareexiles.net message board. Now, the message board was quite famous for the sort of toxic air that it gave around the club and the supporter base, because of all the how can I put it, the derogatory things that would be talked about on there, you know, some of the subjects that would be raised, and a lot of you know, negative repercussion on the back of some of the subject matter that was spoken on that forum. Now, Katie Chat is a completely different animal, because you can't hide behind an alias name on Katie Chat. You put in your name and your Facebook profile against whatever comments you're making. It doesn't stop some people from making derogatory stuff on there, but at the same time, you know, people are a bit more cautious. But when the negativity really sets in, it sets in mass, because there's a lot more people jumping on with it. So some of the things I've sort of got on the back of you know, looking at different posts and comments that have been made on Katie Chat. So there's a bit of a mob mentality going on there. It's like, if somebody, if like a popular figure, you get your popular figures on there. If a popular figure brings something up, you'll find that a lot of people will jump on their side with it and basically start confirming it. So an absolutely ridiculous statement would be made regarding, say, like wanting Flynn out, for example, and then people thinking, oh, I better follow their lead because they're a popular figure, will start agreeing with them and start saying stupid things, basically. So yeah, you've got this follow the leader type mob mentality that tends to happen on there quite often. I think a lot of people see it as something of a stress release, especially since we've got COVID. I mean, usually at the end of a game, your first instinct isn't to jump on Katie Chat. Your first instinct is to get to the pub and get yourself a pint after a game. That's if you're actually able to go. And that's where you do your venting. You have a good laugh with your mates. You say what you want, you know. Yeah, if the Katie, oh, they were fucking shit today and all that. Yeah, over the pint. You get over the game then. If they were good, then you enjoy it a little bit more, of course. But you end up getting over it if we lost, because you're out having a good time, you know, socialising with people, and you realise there's more to life than that one particular football match. Considering we play 46 of them over the course of a year. So one football game isn't going to make or break someone's, you know, year, basically. But the way some people go on Katie Chat, you think that the team had done something to personally harm their feelings by losing a game of football, which we got no God-given right to do anyway. I think some people go over the top on there. People who are looking for likes, looking for attention, looking to cause some kind of outrage from someone by going over the top. I think some of the things are just way overboard that you see on there. You often get a mass overreaction when we lose one match, as I mentioned. And I mean, it's a mass overreaction. People really sticking it to, you know, individuals, the team themselves, you know, saying a lot of, you know, crappy stuff about them, and it's all crap a lot of the time, you know. And I really think a lot of the criticism that people fall under becomes pretty unfair. So I'm talking about that right now. I'll give you some substance to it. So, for example, you've got the Flynn 8 sort of campaign now. You know, I hope nobody takes any of this personally. I'm not singling anyone in individual out. I'm not singling any 3 or 4 individuals out. I'm looking at this as a collective and giving my own perspective on the whole dynamic of that group. So you've got the Flynn 8 side of it. So people saying that he's taken us as far as he can. Well, let me say something to that. Michael Flynn has taken this football club further and far beyond what anyone could ever even dream of taking us. If you consider that the stature of the club, the budget that we've got, and the challenges that this club faces every single year, I don't, first of all, right, you're not going to get many people who'd even want the job, let alone do as good a job as what Flynn has done. So taking us as far as he can, no, he hasn't taken as far as he can, because he should have won that playoff final. So League One is as far as Flynn can take us, and then we haven't even seen us in League One to see if he could take us any further than that. So no, he hasn't taken us as far as he can. He's got a promotion to win. So I don't think he's going to go anywhere until he does that. People saying that he's lost the dressing room. I'm not being funny, but we're talking about a very, very tight-knit squad, which Flynn has kept tight-knit for his entire time at Newport County. He galvanised that dressing room with a group of broken football players. He galvanised that dressing room and took them on the most amazing Great Escape journey you could ever hope to see. And he did that. Michael Flynn doesn't lose a dressing room. I just will not take that. Not at all. Saying anyone else would be sacked. But he's not just anyone else. And people say to forget the past, because I'm going to bring up the past, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, Terry Butcher got 10 games, but he did nothing for the club before that. He had to make a good start to get some kind of tenure at the football club. Warren Feeney had a good run and then a bad run. So that bad run basically said, right, you need to start well, or we're going to have to make a decision because of that bad run. But we stayed up. We probably shouldn't have, but we did. He won 1 in 10 and lost his job in the very same circumstance as what Terry Butcher did. Michael Flynn saved the football club from potential extinction, not just relegation, but a second extinction we're talking about now. A second time this football club could have gone out of business if it wasn't for that man. And then the journey that we've been on since, you know, we're talking 3 full seasons, finishing in a playoff final, which we should have won, if not for some poor officiating. And then on the back of that, the cup runs that we've been on. And this is more than what this football club should ever even be considering, let alone dreaming about. Jesus, I mean, look at what he's done for this club. I mean, saying anyone else would be sacked. Yeah, but he's not anyone else. He's Michael Flynn, and what he's done for this football club is out of this absolute world. So, yeah, when we go on a bad run, he'll be cut a bit more slack, and deservedly so. So the team for this season, writing them off. So people saying, oh, we're lucky that we started well, or we'd be in relegation. We started well because we played some fucking good football, and we won football matches because of it. So, no, we weren't lucky that we started well. We started well because we're a good fucking team. Mid-table at best for the rest of the season. We're on a bad run. We always go on a bad run mid-season. We always start well. We always finish well. I think the bad run, we've been lucky with some of the results elsewhere. Yeah, I'll give people that. But we started well because we have been excellent. We've been on a slump, and I'm going to explain why I think that slump has actually happened in the way that it has. We've suffered a lot. You know, we've had a lot of challenges facing this squad in amongst that. But I'm going to get to that. So, claiming that the players are down tools. We're talking about professional footballers in the lower league. They don't down tools. You know, they're in a promotion fight. Do you not think that they want to win? To make it in football, you've got to be competitive. You have to have a competitive nature about you. There is no way those football players down tools. It don't happen. It just won't happen. Saying that there's no effort or no quality. Well, the quality's there because the wins were on the board. We were top of the league for the majority of the first half of the season. So So saying that there's no quality there is bollocks, basically. No effort, bollocks. Again, obviously down tools, no effort. It's all bollocks. All absolute bollocks. It's venting. People are venting with this bullshit on that group, basically. And it's all bollocks. Labardi's red card. Now, considering we had 4 red cards in the space of 5 games, for some reason, Labardi's red card sparked the whole time to get rid of him now. He's a liability. We're talking about someone who captained this football club. We're talking about Flynn as the manager. Labardi's been the captain for all that. Labardi, for me, is one of the greatest Newport County players that we've ever had. For me, he slots into the centre midfield of any, and that you include the Ironsides players, you include the non-league days, and then you include the modern football league days. Labardi, for me, gets in centre midfield every day. And for me, we're talking 1 or 2 players out there who you could maybe say will topple him. But for me, he is one of the greatest Newport County players I think we've ever had. As far as captains are concerned, he's one of the best captains that we've ever had. So to say he's a liability and we got to get rid of him because of 1 red card, absolute crap. Absolute crap. So I'm not having that. Farquharson, I mean, all this brilliant talk about him being, you know, an absolute steal, what a gem, you know, we find a real great player there. All of a sudden he makes 1 mistake, and now all of a sudden he's a liability as well. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Players make mistakes. Obviously there's the whole King versus Townsend scenario as well. At the end of the day, we're blessed to have 2 great goalkeepers, and we can rely on either one of them to have a good game. Both of them have had great games this season. Townsend has been the preferred choice. That's just how it is. Although I do think King is due another round in goal, but this isn't about the team selection. It's about county chat and some of the tripe that gets spilled on there. Telford and Maynard are duds. No, Telford and Maynard are top quality League 2 forwards, and they are going to come good at some point. Both of them have bagged a goal each. It's not enough yet, and even they'll tell you that they agree that it's not enough yet. But the fact remains that they are 2 top quality strikers for League 2, and they will come good at some point. To write them off relatively early in their county careers, you know, to moan about being stuck with Telford. Oh yeah, we're stuck with a striker that's got the last 2 years has got promoted from this division and scored goals to be a big part of that. You know, oh yeah, we're stuck with him. Bollocks, absolute bollocks. So yeah, okay, so I'm going to admit that the last sort of 3 months up until the point that we just won 3 games in a row had been pretty dire. And yeah, you can't deny that. But you look at the challenges that they faced. First of all, we lost our 2 best players. I mean, you could say arguably Scott Twine was our best player. Brandon Cooper, you know, arguably was our second best player. We lost them both. That's going to disrupt any team. Plus, we lost a lot of other loan players who all went to other clubs in the end. So we had to bring a load of them in. So, like, you lose your 2 best players. I mean, within the season, we've had 2 good cup runs. Especially the Carabao Cup. Now, Carabao Cup in the early season shouldn't be playing any toll, you know, what you could say, shouldn't really be playing any toll on the players now. But in a season, things build. You know, when you're playing competitive football for 90 minutes, you know, twice a week, you know, like what we were doing, it's going to end up adding up on these players. So the cup runs have always been a distraction for us in the league. But the money that they generate help keep the club afloat, so they're important to us. But you've got to give them a little bit of leeway in the league. I mean, yeah, we're still in with a hunt for it. You know, we can still win League 2. You know, I mean, it's within our capabilities, more than within our capabilities. We're not that far away at all. So remember that. The pitch. It should have been relayed in the summer. It's had a build-up over the last few years. I mean, usually they dig it up and redo it and everything like that and do some full maintenance on it. They were going to completely relay it with a brand new turf in the summer, but that didn't happen because of COVID. usually I could be quite critical of the ground staff. I'm not going to be that person now, because I think the ground staff don't intend on cocking up a football pitch for us. I don't think they intend to. It's just the way that it goes. Rugby and the way that that's played, it does, what happens is going to happen on that pitch because of rugby. And we shouldn't criticise that, because it's the rugby's pitch. It's not our pitch. But we need it to be in a good condition to play good football on, which is what we've been doing. The red card spree. I mean, yeah, you've got to blame the players who got their red cards. I mean, I think all 4 of them on another day could have been dismissed as a yellow card, or in some cases, I think for Labardi's one, could have just been seen as handbags, and sort of get in amongst the players and separate them and, give them a bit of a telling off, calm it down, or I will start showing some cards, that sort of thing. So I think, as much as, by the letter of the law, red cards, okay, it is one of those scenarios where not all of them could have been given, in other games, basically. But the red card spree certainly disrupted us. And then all the new players that we had to get, they've all got a gel at the end of the day. They've got to embed within the squad. It's a tight-knit squad, but if you make a lot of changes, we've seen what happens when we have to make a lot of changes. It unsettles things. And unfortunately, it's unsettled things a bit now. But now, look, it's starting to come good. So, everybody had lost faith in that amazing squad that were playing these amazing games. But the spine of that squad is still there. Yeah, losing your 2 best players is going to affect you in such a big way, yes. But, you've got to have faith in the manager's ability to bring these players in to replace them. I think Farquharson is a great replacement for Cooper. And I think in midfield, Josh Sheehan is taking up the Twine role, hopefully. And Matt Dolan is stepping up to the plate as well. So it's great. We're looking good now. There's a lot of confidence in that team. And people shouldn't have lost faith in them. Yeah, it was a bit dire. But I mean, you look at it, right? We're talking about that we've installed good football. Good, easy on the eye football. On a very low budget. The league this year is so close on quality. The teams are so close to each other. So Cambridge at the top against Grimsby at the bottom. I'm not being funny, but on a good day, Grimsby could beat Cambridge. Whereas in League 2, the last X amount of seasons, would top lose to bottom, quite as easily? No. It usually doesn't happen in a league. Top would beat bottom without a problem. But for me, I think it's a lot closer this season. A lot closer. So the fact that we've won as many games as we have, considering that, I think is great. I mean, we got no as I said earlier, we got no God-given right to do anything in this league, especially we're a low-budget, small club, for the football league. We got no God-given right to just get promoted. And like I say, the players, that squad, the manager have very much been a victim of their own success. They've had a great start of the season. They've had great cup runs, so they've raised expectations. And when you're doing well, you are going to expect to win more games. But the thing is, you've got to remember who we are. And the fact we got no God-given right to do anything. Yeah, we got on a slump. Tactics might have been wrong in some games. Substitutions were bad. Team selection in the first place might not have been great. Yeah, that will fall on Flynn. But the thing is, he's not, the Messiah. He's going to get things wrong. He's not a miracle worker. He's going to get things wrong. I mean, if Flynn was that perfect as a manager, we'd win every game. And if that was the case, he wouldn't be with us right now. He'd be managing a Premier League team in the top end of the Premier League if he was perfect. So we got to cut him a bit of slack. We got to cut the players a bit of slack. And look, 3 games in a row, and 2 of them against teams in amongst us. Massive, massive results for us. So all I'm saying is just try and think before you post stuff, because people can see it. The people involved, and at the end of the day, I mean, if I was Robbie Wilmot, for example, with the amount of stick he gets, I'd look at that and think, why the fuck should I even bother? Yeah, he's getting paid, but the effort is a choice. I mean, he gets paid based on the fact he's a good enough footballer to earn that money. Effort is a choice on a football pitch. And at the end of the day, if you have a massive admiration for the supporters of the football club that you're playing for, that's always going to play a big part in whether they're going to you're going to generate that extra bit of effort, you know, in a football match. You know, that extra bit of potential, you know, that you could probably search for within yourself. If we get on their backs every time, you know, they have a substandard performance, what's the likelihood of them bouncing back? Well, it's not good, is it, really? So, yeah, I just thought I'd raise those points, basically. So, I'd like to see what thoughts you guys have on this one. So, yeah, I'd love to see some comments on this one, and if we could potentially do a follow-on video, raise some points of your own, and I will then respond to them points. So, I look forward to seeing what you guys say. It's great to get a Taff's Word 8 there again as well. I will try and do a few more. I'm waiting for the right subject matter so the content can be of a relevant sort of subject matter, and of course the quality of it will be better when it's something really worth talking about. So yeah, I'd really love your thoughts on this one and see if we can do a bit of a follow-on. Okay, thanks for watching everybody. Cheerio for now, and as always, up the county. Many thanks for watching the latest content on the Amber Army channel. Please make sure you leave us a like. Make sure you subscribe for more content, both for the neutral football fan and also plenty of Newport County. Even more Newport County content can be found on the club's iFollow channel on the link above. It is just £4.49 per month to subscribe to that service. And those of you feeling extra generous can also support us on Patreon on the link at the bottom there. That would be a monthly donation of your choice. Thank you again, make sure you've subscribed, and as always, up the county.